was sick for a long time.
Really? Oh.
You know what time it is?
Boom shakalaka! Woohoo!
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the best
It's on
show
yours.
on the internet.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I heard. This is the
Yes.
best show on the internet.
That's right. I'm
Right.
not going to knock it. That's just the way it is.
There you go.
Welcome to Miss Rocky and Shaviva North End Update Live, because there's always something good happening on the North End.
And everywhere else.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. We're going to start out our show kind of on a sad note. You know, lately there have been a lot of losses in our community.
Yes, indeed.
So today I don't know if Agnes has the graphic, but Mr. Sid Simpson passed away.
Yes.
A young man that's about my age. I say young man but you're never too young to die. That's what my daddy always said. So our condolences out to Mr. Sid Simpson and his family. And if she doesn't have the picture now, maybe she'll have it a little bit later. But he was called the Fisherman. Some people called him Bruh.
Yeah, and he was famous for his Taurus Get Down Affair party
yes,
that he'd
yes.
have every year. So
I don't know if Ed and Agnes followed us, but we went to the party up on Ash Street, and he had all of his family there. And this man loved nostalgia. He was a wrestler for Central High, and he just always embraced all the other wrestlers. So condolences to Sid Simpson's family, and then Mrs. Housey.
Yes, also condolences to the Housey family for the loss of their mother and grandmother, Mrs. Bertha Housey.
Yes. All right. Just know that you are in our prayers, and our love goes out to you. All right. We have some great guests on the show today that we're going to be introducing in just a little bit. We got two Joes with two P professions.
That's right. A principal and a police chief.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So that's going to be fun, talking to them and finding out what I figured out. There is kind of a connection we can make them, talk about. So we'll figure that out. And our talking point we'll start out with them so they can think about this. Doubt kills more dreams than failure will. All right. Shout out to our favorite frequent viewers, Josh Bumgardner, Nikki B. Milligan, who's a sweetheart, Chris Jones, and Shantae Grundy.
Okay, also shout out to Tim Cooper, Carrie Hicks, Carnell Hayes, and India Silas Johnson.
Right. We want to remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out our Facebook page, and click like on North End Update.
Yeah, please do all of that.
Because we're approaching 6 years of positivity right here in Waterloo, talking about the good stuff, because, you can hear about the bad stuff, but who points out the good stuff?
Us. That's right.
That's right. We want to thank the Community Foundation of Northeast Iowa for awarding us with a wonderful grant yesterday. We were there at an event where they handed out, I don't know how many grants, but there were 32 recipients, I think. So we were blessed with that opportunity, and you can see some photos of that on our Facebook page. So we have another sustaining collaborator.
Yes, and more opportunities to focus on and highlight and point out the good things that are going on right here.
Right.
Yes.
Newsflash, birthday people. I heard that Joe Leibold is the captain of the singing department of the
Making it up on the
police.
fly, right? Okay.
I heard the man can really sing well.
I bet you probably heard that the principal of East High can sing
Oh,
really
I know
well
he
too.
can go. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure. I'm sure. There, one will be tenor and one will be bass, and the harmony will be great. So
There
just
you go.
stay tuned, birthday people. You got some good music coming your way.
All right.
Breaking news.
Oh yeah, new downtown business alert. Hey.
They got it going on downtown Waterloo. We've got a new, what is it? Real estate accounting service.
Yeah, Boss Tax and Accounting Service.
Yes.
Right downtown in Waterloo. And we also have Travis Ferguson Real Estate.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's going to have an office right here in his hometown, Waterloo, on 216 East 4th Street. So congratulations to our new businesses, and make sure you get downtown Waterloo. It's a great place to hang out. Go to Ivy Trellis. All the
yeah.
wonderful, have lunch. All right, well, we're going to introduce our guests now. I think it's about that time.
Yes.
Two Joes. We have with us, thank you to Ed, again, for making it happen. Yes.
All right.
To my right, we have Joe. What's your last
Parker.
name? Joe Parker, the principal of East High School. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, good to be here.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
and to my left, we have Joe Leibold, Chief of Police, Waterloo Police Department. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Well, we like to have fun. Okay, so you're okay with a little bit of fun. You got your uniform on. Don't be so official, okay? I know.
No ambushes.
No, we're not. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But we have a question that we usually ask our guests, and it's and I get to sing. Get ready for this note. Do you subscribe to the Soul Town? Do you?
No, I do not.
All
Yeah,
right.
I get it every one that comes out.
Good.
Yeah.
See, the
It
coolest
actually
thing.
comes to our school as well. So.
The coolest thing about asking this question every week is we always end up meeting or coming across someone who has not yet heard of the Soul Town.
I've heard of it. I just don't subscribe to it.
Well, you should
okay.
keep a copy in the police office and see. Look.
Oh, look at
What is
that.
that, right? It's a great magazine.
That's her favorite page
Yeah.
in the magazine.
And if you get a digital copy, you can actually press play and you can watch the show with you on it. So, yeah. So this is the Soul Town magazine that originated right here in Waterloo. And I know Agnes has already had the graphic up while I was talking. But get yourself a copy, either digital or put your hands on it
Yes, indeed.
at Earth's Beauty Supply, or you
That's
can
right.
call Chillin'.
At 319-505-4020.
Okay, great. Okay, to break the ice, we already kind of broke the ice. You know, I'm not a good singer, so,
Uh-oh.
right? So we have our talking point. What's our talking point, Should be?
Our talking point is doubt kills more dreams than failure will.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel that that's kind of a
Yeah,
real
I
thing?
think it's very real. I think definitely in my position, I see that a lot with a lot of our students who doubt themselves, you know, as far as what they can do and not actually feeling or believing that they can achieve some of the things that they can, you know. But when you see them get some levels of success, then it kind of puts them past that. But, you know, when you start doubting yourself, and then it kills your desire and drive to do some things that you really need to do, either in school academically or even in athletics or other events, because they start doubting themselves. But when I see some of my kids start like really get some success and start to get that level of belief in themselves, it really changes a lot of things that they do. So I do agree 100%. Once that doubt, it kind of eats away at them and anyone. It eats away at you, and it kind of like takes away that drive and feeling like you can. So it kind of brings you down a little bit. So I agree and subscribe to that 100%.
Right. And success will build up your confidence,
Yes.
but unless you fail, you don't really know.
Right.
You didn't have any thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah, I agree with the principal that, it's something that eats away with you. I mean, you do have to physically get off the couch, so to speak. I mean, if you doubt yourself, you stay there the whole time and you just don't ever reach out or go out or try to be what you can be. So, you know, what they say, Edison took 10,000 tries to not make a light bulb.
Great point.
No
Great
doubt
point.
he failed 10,000 times. Michael Jordan talks about his failures, but all you hear about is the successes. So I think, you know, people highlight our successes when they don't realize the stumbles we all took to get there, no matter what profession or activity you're involved with.
Very true. How about you, Chevy?
Hey, if you let doubt take over, then you'll never get to failure because you're just not even going to try. You just assume, whatever it is you assume, that you can do it or that you can't do it. It turns out to be self-fulfilling prophecy.
You know, I found that out when I learned to ride the motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
If I told myself I can't do it, and I couldn't. I was like scared all the time, and I was like, I can do this. And then I just grabbed those handlebars and took off, and next thing I knew, I was a rider. So I think it's like
Braver than me.
Yeah, perspective is everything, you know. So Caleb, do we have any comments?
Yes, Amy Cass, as usual, is promoting everything from Soul Town to your guests.
Oh, yes.
To your new supporting Waterloo Community Foundation, your supporting partners.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. And we want to ask that question too, Shaviva. Remember, for our prize today.
Oh.
So you have to answer this while we're live. So you viewers that are watching now, you're the only ones eligible for this. So the two clues are, what were they? The first clue is walk. And this is about a structure in our hometown.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, the first clue is walk, and the second clue?
Is water.
Water. And if there was a third clue, Shaviva would say what?
Behind
our heads.
That's right. I'd say behind my head.
And this is for $120 shopping spree at We Eatin' on 'em, which is on Sycamore Street, which is a crazy name for a store, but
But they have
they got
nice
some
stuff in there.
They got
yeah.
dope stuff.
Yep.
Can you say that with the
It's
police
dope.
around? I'm trying to act young. That's all I do. Okay. So yeah, answer that question and you get $120 shopping spree at We Eatin' on 'em and Frosted, which is right across the street from Rodney's.
Okay.
Okay. Whoever answers that, don't forget. And now our Give It Air. Okay, that Grout Museum brought us our talking point, and they have a lot of great exhibits. And you heard about one in our pre-boom. So if you watch the pre-boom, you'll see what Carson has, and that's for the love of God.
Okay.
God's.
And
Yes.
if you want to know more, just go to their Facebook page and you'll see all the great stuff that the Grout has going on.
Okay, now it's time for Give It Air. You know, in our show, we often talk about hard subjects. Sometimes they're about race or culture, or mostly race or culture. And today, we're just going to talk about some of the things that are in our culture now. A lot of people are talking about education and what should be taught to young people and what they shouldn't learn, which is quite appropriate to you. So we picked this one because I watched Emancipation the other day with Will Smith, and man, was it ever hard to watch. It was so hard to watch. But it's history, and this is the things that, we have to face. It's ugly, but we have to face it. So I came up with this because I felt a certain way. And so our Give It Air point today is what, Shaviva?
Yeah, it's sort of a combination of a talking point and giving it air, and that is basically accept how you feel, then move through it. Yeah.
That's what I came up with, because it makes you, because even in high school, when we had Black History class and they started teaching about slavery, you just get kind of angry, and you get, you start feeling you start feeling with angst and all that.
Yeah.
So you have to experience those feelings and move through it. And so this is something I think a lot of young people are going to have to deal with as they learn about history. How does a school, and as an educator, help me? What?
As far as
feeling those feelings and moving through it.
Yeah, it's interesting because to your point, with school districts, ours cross country, there's curriculum that's provided, and the teachers kind of work through the curriculum that's given. And as a teacher, as a student, as a parent, you may feel a certain way about what is or is not taught,
Right.
what you may want taught, so. We still are given and provided curriculum, that we had to kind of work through. And if there's anything outside of that, you kind of, see through curriculum realignment and work. Hey, do we want to add this? Do we want to add African American studies? Do we want to add women's studies? Do we want to add different things? How deep you want to go in certain areas? Critical race theory was a big
Right,
topic.
it's been in the news
for
so long,
a while and across the country, not even just here. So. Yeah, it's kind of hard to go through that, but you do want to be sympathetic to the diverse nature of the students that you have, if they're Black, white, Hispanic, or whatever they may be, with respect to the history that's being portrayed or being taught based on the subgroups that you have. There's our Hispanic students that there's a certain part of their culture that may be taught, African American history, a certain part of their culture that may be taught.
Kind of cross.
But you still want to be sympathetic to those students and kind of want to talk about, and we do go through professional development with social and emotional learning with our staff, and kind of work with all of our staff with, how to connect, build relationships, and kind of work with our students, because we have a very diverse student body.
And you got a new vice principal,
Yeah,
you
we
were
have,
saying,
yes.
that's Hispanic, which is to be
Yeah, we have about 13, 14% of our student body that's now Hispanic as well.
Okay.
So, we're growing and working with those populations. But to your point, being sympathetic and being understanding as you teach that, how your classrooms look at, they're reflective of our student population. Those kind of things you would want to make sure that you're doing.
Sure.
So it kind of helps with that. And the students, they always can see and tell, what the connection and what the work that our staff is doing, and they do a great job really working, connecting with our students. And I think that it helps them with, being able to talk about things because they work at building good relationships.
Yes, okay. Joe.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I think we all need to understand we look at the world differently through a different window. And I probably was struck home with me the most with my son, who was a basketball player in high school and had many young African American friends. And when they started getting their licenses, I had parents asking me, and I was befuddled. I'm like, I don't understand. And my son, who was 15 at the time, maybe 14, said, yeah, their fear of a traffic stop is entirely different than mine.
Sure,
and it really kind of hit me is, okay, yeah, it's different because he sees the world through a different window.
Sure.
Chances are he's probably going to know if it's in Waterloo, the officer that pulls him over. These guys will not. So that we did a little bit of training, and I spent a lot of time with several young men just talking to them about, hey, if you get pulled over, do this. This is how it's going to go. And we walked them through kind of a traffic stop because that was several years ago. I mean, he's 20, almost 22 now, so it's probably 7 years ago when that happened. And that was at a time where that was a big scare in the African American community was traffic stops. So we spent a little bit of time teaching these young men how to do a traffic stop, just to understand what we're going to ask for, what their rights were, just how to go through that process. And young drivers are nervous anyway, and then you add all of us are nervous when a squad car is behind us, so you amp that up a little bit. So it was just a way to calm them down.
That.
Yeah, it was. Well, I'm nervous when a
Yeah,
squad
I get
car's
nervous.
behind. Yeah, we all do.
Everybody gets
So, but you amp that up a little bit when you're 15, 16, 17 years old, first time driving. So we just spent some time talking and doing stuff just to help with that and ease that. But I think that really opened my eyes to the fact that we don't all see the world the same way.
Sure.
I mean, we look at it differently. We have different social experiences, different historical experiences. Our parents have taught us different things. It's a different way to look at the world. And that really kind of hit me, and it stuck with me ever since. I've told that story multiple times about that and how it impacted me.
Yeah, and implicit bias. I think that's our Give It Here next week. So we won't
Yes.
start going on that now because we have a couple of other questions that we want to, this leads into our questions for you guys. So I guess we're going to talk with you. I'm like, meeny, miny, we're going to go this way first. We just want to talk to, you go ahead, Shaniva. You had some
I
questions
just want
for
to
Joe.
talk to us a little bit about your job as chief. What does that all include?
I would say the biggest part of my job is listening. I spend a great deal of time talking to people and listening to people, and I have meetings with people all the time from outside the community and within the organization. And I had one today where the first person said, well, what do you want to talk about? I said, no, I want you to talk, I want to know what you want to talk about. I need to listen. I need to really, really hone that listening skill and get better at it. That's probably the number one part of my job, is to hear what people are actually saying and what is going on. That is probably the most important part of my job. Quite honestly, probably the most important part of any police officer's job is to really hear what's going on and see what's going on. You got to be observant.
I got a question. I just know that morale was a big issue a while back with the Griffin going away. How is morale now? Are things better now that there's that change and the new leadership, and also that question, and also how many minority officers do you have? And another one, how do you guys get out in the community to experience the community? Answer all those questions, and you got 30 seconds.
Perfect. I'm going to start with COVID really put a dent. It started, I will tell people COVID was my worst year in law enforcement. The year of COVID was absolutely my worst year in law enforcement. And then you followed that up with the protests the following year. Morale as police officers had taken a little bit of a hit. Where we're at now, I don't know. I just actually sent a survey out this morning, and the first question is, where's your morale? And I'm kind of trying to gauge that to see where people are at and get an overall feel for the organization, because I don't know until they tell me. So I'm going to reach out and try to get that answer and see where people are. So that's the morale part, and you're going to have to tell me the other ones. I'm sorry.
How do you get the force out into the community and to interact? Are you on any kind of, play with the kids club
Community
thing or
relations.
something.
Well, I personally serve on the Boys and Girls Club board.
Oh, good.
I've been on that board for a long time. But getting out in the community, again, COVID put a dent in that. We had all these great plans, and suddenly everybody just went in the house and got scared, and it really shut down. And we're just starting to rebuild from that, to rebuild that reach, that outreach. I was appointed chief just before Thanksgiving.
Oh.
It's a terrible time to try to start anything because, hey, I'm on vacation, I'm out of town. So I'm just now starting to get the meetings I want to get with people and sit down with people and talk and find our ways out into those neighborhoods and into those communities. And I'm in constant meetings with people trying to facilitate that outreach and talk to the officers about what we can do to get out more and do more.
Good about the Boys and Girls Club, huh, Shavita?
Okay. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you have anything? I know you guys are gonna go back and forth because with the day we live in, we got 5-year-olds killing people in school. I want to know about security. We'll start with you. What kind of concerns do you have about even violence between your own students in the school, and how do you guys work together to prevent or to have security and make sure your school is safe?
Yeah. Well, with respect to working with Waterloo PD, we have an SRO officer in our building, and he does a great job. He does really good with building relationships with our students. So from the Waterloo PD perspective, I mean, we do have a SRO officer who's really ingrained in what we do in our building. Safety and security is always going to be one of the things that we want to make sure that we address. One of the roles that we have to adhere to is making sure we're providing an environment that's conducive for teaching and learning and safe. So when we have situations that come about with any acts of violence or fighting or anything like that, we do all that we can to make sure that we obviously address it. Kind of reestablish expectations with our students, and then kind of be transparent with our community and our families about, hey, these are something that we're really expecting, and then, kind of rehash that and go over that again with our families. And sometimes we have to have some tough conversations with some parents and students with respect to expectations, and kind of hold a line on what we expect. But at the same time, we want to make sure we're educating our students to the best of our ability at the school. So it is something, and it's not necessarily just a Waterloo thing. It's nationally with things that we're addressing.
Right.
Social media has not been a fan and not been helping us at all.
Okay. Do you have the students check their phones, or do they get
in
their
the school?
phones?
No. They're allowed to have their phones within the building.
I think that's a good thing, basically. I mean, if they're a responsible student, because I want to be connected to my kid. Ever since 9/11, I wanted to know where my kids are and where we, our emergency plan and all of that. So.
Yeah. Well, even not even from a safety standpoint with cell phone, probably it's been a bit of a double-edged sword with, families and kids want to maintain that connection to everyone. But the other part of it is for educationally, for our student engagement. It has been a barrier for students because there's, that level of addiction to wanting to be on their phone and not being connected to what's happening in the classroom. So we are really battling that with, we really need to make sure we are focusing on your education, not so much on your phone. So that's been something that we've really been addressing. So if we can, they can have it and use it when need be, but for the most part, our instruction is priority, and we need to make sure our students are getting education first.
Okay, I was going to say, over and above concerns for safety and security, what sorts of things are students engaging in? I mean, do you have any new initiatives or things that are happening, or what's going on, like with how many students are participating, for example, with the Career Center?
Yeah, we have a nice portion of students that go as percentage-wise. We do have to be mindful of how many we actually get to go over there, because it does take part with travel, going back and
and you never know
changing
what
within our
day
day.
or two in between. That's where you come in.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
not.
We do have a lot that take the bus, so that's kind of help with that. But the Career Center has been great with opportunities that it offers for our kids, and even across Iowa and our country, our kids have opportunities that a lot of kids do not. We just really need to get them to take advantage of it. So what we're doing now is trying to get a lot of some pre-course work in classes to get kids even prepared to go to the Career Center, because you really get in depth and with internships, the level of work and apprenticeship that they can get in with our Career Center.
Right.
But we want to generate a little bit of interest in engineering or carpentry or plumbing. So we want to generate that, because a lot of our kids in elementary and middle school may not even know what that entails. So we can get some introductory courses to kind of create that interest to get them to really go, to increase the number that go out there. But to your point also, clubs, activities, we're increasing that a lot. If there are any students that have an interest in doing anything, our Gamers Club took off huge. They even won some titles with the work they're doing for gaming.
Good.
We have a gardening club with an initiative that's really taken off with the work that they're doing for our gardening, and that's even growing. And the kids are really driving that themselves.
That's very beneficial
Yeah.
for the whole environment.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to talk to him a little bit too.
Okay, I'm
Say,
sorry.
yeah, perhaps.
I want to know about the crime. Did you have a question?
Yes, I did. I was saying perhaps not in the same vein as a career center or whatever. What sort of things, if any, do you do to outreach into the community to try to see who may be interested in law enforcement?
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
We do a lot of outreach, especially when we're recruiting, and we've been pretty much in a constant recruiting cycle. So we advertise, then we hold practice test sessions, because to get our job, you've got to pass a written, a physical agility, a background check. There's just a lot of steps. So we hold practice test sessions and to help people, because the test isn't what people normally expect. So it's a standardized test Iowa requires, so we follow that. So we hold that and we do that, and we kind of get out like that. We are always reaching out every recruiting phase, trying to find more and more applicants. And I did think it was interesting that he said the gardening center is growing. That was my favorite part of that whole thing.
Little play on words. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I want to know real quick about the crime rate. I heard it's down.
Well, I don't have the numbers for 2022 yet. We're still putting those together. It takes us a little bit once the year ends to finish up all the final reports. So I'm hoping to have them done by the end of the month and get those out. But yeah, we're still kind of working on that. I know some of them have come out already from the sheriff's offices and agencies like that, but we're still putting ours together. So I don't have the final numbers.
Okay. All right. Well, now it's about time for you guys to start singing. You're
Super.
ready for this? Yeah, great. Do you know Rudy Jones?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, he's the worst we've ever had.
Oh, no, I can't imagine. Rudy's got to be solid. Rudy's a pastor. He's got to be good to go.
He's not a singing pastor.
Oh.
We found that out.
Oh.
So, and I don't know about this guy.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay,
No,
well,
no,
we're gonna.
no.
The birthday people will appreciate whatever you can do. You know
That's right.
Stevie Wonder version of the birthday song.
I do not. No, I'm sorry.
You can clap.
You keep in mind, I can't sing,
Oh,
so
It's easy.
I think I was kicked out of music class.
You'll catch on. You'll catch on. Okay, we have Asoria Greer to say happy birthday to, and Tracy Tolles McCullen.
Yeah,
That's how you
yes,
say
happy
that.
birthday.
Kim Klinghammer, Claire Donahue Roof, and Trisha Adams. Mary Louise Wilder. She's
Yes.
going to be on our show soon.
Okay, yeah, happy
Yes.
birthday. We also want to say happy birthday to Rose Salas, Morris Anderson, Reverend
Yes.
Morris Anderson.
Oh, Reverend, okay.
Dinah Mission Teneza, I think she's in the Philippines. Hey, hey.
Hey, Dinah.
All right, Daquan Oliver.
Daquan, that's my nephew.
That's right.
Yes.
And Jeremy Manigo.
Oh, I know that young
And
man.
Chantrice Doris.
Doris,
Happy
yes.
birthday.
We have the best birthday people all
That's
the
right.
time.
And we
because
have the best guests.
The best viewers. We got the best ever. We're the best show. I mean,
Thank you. On the internet. That's proof right there.
and I'm sure you would agree
It couldn't fit more perfectly
than to have a world party.
on the day you came to be.
Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Come on.
to
Hey.
ya. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday. Woo! Y'all made it sound really
Yeah.
good.
See, the rules.
You guys carried that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you.
You don't have to sing good, just sing loud.
Right.
There you go.
Joe, I like the way you sang loud. You did real well. And you, my goodness, you was carrying the bass.
Getting over a cold, so.
Okay, see, he's another
See
one.
that Barry White type of baritone thing going? Yep.
All right, we want you to get ready for some great upcoming shows. Shaviva, who do we got coming?
Hey, as a matter of fact, next Friday we have Mary Louise Wilder.
Yes.
We have Mayor
Actually,
Hart.
no, we don't. We forgot to
don't?
talk about that. Mary Louise got pushed back to the 27th. There's
See?
a little bit of change.
Hey.
Anyway, we'll let
She
you know
did.
who will be on the show. I had to do some rearranging.
But she is going to be a guest on
Yes,
our show. Yes,
real
indeed.
soon. And as seasoned women, we've learned a couple of things because we've been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that not giving up does not mean holding on when you're wrong.
Yes, indeed. Yes. And what I've learned is to stop keeping count.
Stop. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Stop keeping count.
Stop keeping count. You mean like when I do something nice for you, you don't have to do something nice that kind of way?
That way.
Okay, whatever works.
There you
I
go.
thought you meant desserts.
Oh, yeah.
there you go. That's
yeah.
good, too.
Don't count calories. How about that? Until next week, we want to remind you and thank our guests so much
Absolutely.
to keep doing more awesome stuff that makes you awesome.
Like Joe and,
And
like
like
Joe.
Joe.
Yes, because
Because
it makes us all look good. And also remember that if it's Friday, it's
North
North End
End
Update.
Update.
See you next time.
See you next time.